Hi everyone. First, thanks for having us here. My name is Mike Asend and I'm one of the CEO from inray, and I'm here with my colleague Patrick Delves. Um, in start, uh, um, uh, I will start with a short introduction about our company. Over 25 years, inray is in the market, and we are focused on Industry 4.0, IIoT, and connectivity. We are specialists for industrial software, and we have our own in-house software development. We created the OPC router with more than 50 plugins 20 years ago, and our core services are consulting, planning, realization, and training. So this is my short inray introduction, and now I will talk about our technology partners. We are very happy to be in the industrial edge marketplace and to be a member of the ecosystem. We have strong partnerships with well-known technology partners, and my last point are our distributors. Um, we have a global network of OPC router distributors to support the OPC router all over the world. So enough from my side, and I would like to hand over to Patrick uh, to show you what is the OPC router.
Thank you very much, Mike. My name is Patrick Delves from the sales team from inray, and I want to first start with the question what the OPC router is. The OPC router is a software tool and communication platform for the industry. It has a lot of various plugins to establish the connection to all the plugins and allows a bidirectional exchange of your data in the systems, and you can implement a lot of different use cases. A first use case could, for example, be that you have a machine with an OPC UA server and you want to print a document, but not only with the data of the OPC UA server. You need additional info of your SAP system. So you can get the data with the OPC UA client of the OPC router, establish a connection to SAP to get the data from the SAP and send all the data to the printer to print a document for your pallet or something else. A second use case could, for example, be that you have a folder with the, for example, CSV file, and you want to store the data in a database. The database could, for example, be a Microsoft SQL Server database, a MySQL Server database, an Oracle database, and you can get the data, you can trigger the CSV file, you can parse the CSV file in the individual variables, and then you can store all elements in the columns of the table. A third and a fourth use case could, for example, be that you have a bidirectional exchange of data between your cloud system and database. For example, you want to communicate with your cloud system, which is a MQTT broker, and you want to subscribe the data to store the data in your database. Or you can also select data from your database to publish the data in the MQTT broker to have the data available in the cloud. So as you can see, there are a lot of different use cases you can implement with OPC router with all the plugins the OPC router has. And now we come to the deployment of the OPC router on various systems. In the past, the OPC router, we began to install the OPC router only on Windows Server and client systems. But with the time, we also implement the function that you can deploy the OPC router in Kubernetes on Kubernetes cluster, or also deploy the OPC router on a Docker container. And now we are also available in the Siemens Industrial Edge Marketplace. So you are able to deploy the OPC router in the Siemens or on a Siemens Industrial Edge device to do the configurations on the device, and you can interact with the Industrial Information Hub of the Siemens Industrial Edge platform. Now we come to the demo, a short demo about the configuration of the OPC router. The use case is that we are communicate between an OPC UA server on the shop floor level, and we have connected to the MQTT broker of the Industrial Information Hub of the Siemens Industrial Edge platform. So we start with creating the connection. In the third tab, connection, we create a new connection and rename the connection to OPC to Siemens. The second step is that we choose the transfer objects from the right side, and we choose a OPC data access object to get access to the OPC UA server. We choose our OPC UA server, open the tag browser and choose our tag we want to transfer to the MQTT broker. We also want to have the value timestamp of the tag, and then we click OK, and then we start to choose the MQTT transfer object. We choose our MQTT broker. The topic is our tag name, and then we want to build a structure because we have one payload and two variables, and we want to do this, or we want to combine this in a JSON structure. So we take the JSON write transfer object, and then we define two values, timestamp and value. We also change the data type, and then we can connect the transfer object with each other. And then at the end, we only need a trigger, and we take here the time trigger. So every 5 seconds, we want to transfer data from our OPC UA server to the MQTT broker. Then we have to make changes productive with the fourth tab, and we can see in our status view that the connection is running. And every 5 seconds, we now transfer data from the OPC UA server to the MQTT broker with this JSON structure. Every green dot is one transfer, and you can also see the values which were transferred in the past and also errors. And that's it. Now I want to come to what makes our communication platform unique. As you have seen, monitoring and diagnosis. In the status view, you can see all transfers we have made for a time period, which you can set in the general settings. And as you have seen, the configuration via drag and drop is an easy setup. And it's really simple to implement new use cases and create new connections without programming knowledge. We have an application diversity, so you have more than 35 plugins. You have a web UI, user-friendly and web-based. You have platform independence. You can deploy OPC Router, as I said, on Windows, Linux, and Docker container, and also download it in the Siemens Industrial Edge Marketplace to implement it on your Siemens Edge device. And you have a scalability. You can start with a small use case with a proof of concept, and then you can roll out to a group-wide enterprise solution. The last is the reliability. You have 24/7 performance. You have a store and forward add-on you can use. You can implement also a redundancy system and innovation guarantee, because we are looking for more plugins in the industry which you are using. And if you have a protocol which is not implemented, you can come to us and ask us if there is a missing plugin. So now you can download the OPC Router, or if you have questions, you can ask us. And that's from my side. Thank you very much. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Very interesting. Wonderful.
Thanks. I will then pause the recording.
Yep.